Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for checking out another episode of the show. Super excited to welcome back my buddy, returning guest, Matt, the Rattlesnake Lesch. He's got a brand new album out on January 18th titled Blues Cut Like Glass. And we caught up the other day to sit and talk about it. And we played one of the tracks live acoustic for you. Had a lot of fun with that. But yeah, we get into some of the recording and stories behind these songs and much more. Check it all out. Join us at Matt's album release party January 18th at National Blues Museum in St. Louis, Missouri. And you can find the ticket link in my show info or visit MattRattlesnakeLesch.com. Follow along with him on Facebook and Instagram for more info. And if you are interested, they are also hitting the open seas. He's joining Dylan Triplett for the Blues Cruise January 26th through February 2nd. So that'll be a fun. So if you are on the Blues Cruise, be sure to catch Matt playing with Dylan Triplett. And if you need anything from me, you can always find me at rockpaperpodcast.com. Hit me up on the socials. Email me, rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. And with that out of the way, sit back, relax, and enjoy a brand new episode with Matt, the Rattlesnake Lesch.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah, that's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
Hey, this is Matt the Rattlesnake Lesch, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Scissors beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats scissors, Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out with returning guest, Matt Rattlesnake Lesch. Welcome back, my friend.
All right, thanks for having me. It's been a while.
Yeah, man, been too long.
Yeah,
I feel like I haven't even got to see you play a whole lot lately. Like I'm not as active as I once was, especially when I was working. When I was working at Oyster Bar, I was down in the scene a lot, and I was always going but I do start. I mean, I got out. I was telling you, I went out last night and got to see Davey Knowles, and it was really cool. And I still make it out to every now and then, but I'm definitely not what I was one. There was a while there I was going pretty hard, so. Yeah,
well, things are so different now.
Yeah.
It's completely changed, and I know. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you. I don't even remember. Last time. Might have been the last time we did this or something.
Yeah, I know. I ran into you. I've seen the band play at Oyster Bar and stuff like that. We've done a couple of those nights and that kind of stuff. But,
for sure, yeah.
But anyway, that's what's fun about this show. Is a good excuse to schedule some time to hang out with your buddies, and we got a brand new record to talk about.
Oh yeah, we got plenty to talk about.
So, but I think the last time we did this was your previous record. So it's been a minute since we sat down and actually deep dive into your music, but that's what's this fun about doing this podcast and keeping this thing going. It's pretty crazy that to think about that it's already over 10 years of doing this show, and so it's fun that I'm still doing this and still that we have this back catalog of all these things, and people come on year after year talking about new records and different things. So it's always good to catch up and and talk about this stuff. So, but yeah, I guess let's start with the record, man. Because this is big news. It's very exciting. We've got some fresh songs coming out, and you have a new record due out in January, and it's titled Blues Cut Like Glass.
That's right. Yep. It's titled Blues Cut Like Glass, and it's an all original blues album that, it's been in the works the past couple years now, ever since I started writing for it and recording and doing all that process, and it's something I'm really proud of. It's, my writing and my arranging, because on this album I did all the arrangements and writing for the horn parts as well, and that's something I'm really proud of. And of course everything is not perfect, but you learn, and each time you do it you get a little better and a little more understanding of like what needs to happen and how to do certain things, and something I'm really proud of, to say the least.
Yeah.
So,
is that something that you've been like working at, like whether you're at home or just like studying when you're on your previous records, or recordings and things, or how's like, or is even studying at school for it?
Yeah, well, all of the above, really. Yeah. As far as learning like how to write for horns, I learned that when I was in college at Webster, and that's something they taught us, and it's really a different thing because saxophones, which is what I was writing for, saxophones and trumpet, they're you can't write them the same as like guitar or piano, because they're in a different key. So if you write for tenor sax, or write a part for tenor sax, you have to put it in a key that's a whole step higher than the original, because that's how they're going to read it, and because they're B flat instruments, so they're always going to be lower, or play lower than like C instruments like guitar or piano. And so that's, definitely something to kind of get used to. And it really helps you really know the music, because you're writing essentially in different keys, all the time for it. And yeah. It's, a really great skill to have for sure, especially in blues where there's a lot of horn sections and stuff like that. It's really great if the band leader or whoever, you're really anybody in the band, if they're writing or have anything to do with it, it's good that they have a little bit of knowledge on that subject. I think.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I did. Excuse me. That's why one of my favorite things about listening to this record was that you do include quite a few of these tracks have horn arrangements on them, like you're saying, or keyboards, piano and stuff on them. So you're having like these real nice full sounding blues songs is definitely what I kind of, some of my favorite blues, I would say, like, which is, just like being that it's fresh in my mind. Like I said, I saw Davey Knowles last night, and he played as a 3-piece, but his, obviously he leans more into the rock blues side of a lot of his stuff. But so you go from, you see different styles and how different people do interpret the blues, and you can go from a power trio, you can go, you can strip it all the way down to acoustic, like you might hear also, and but then you have these like real big full arrangements and stuff. So and I don't know, it's just I love hearing all the different styles of blues and how people interpret it. So
it's a very wide spreading genre,
right.
I think, and there's so much you can do with it. It's the music itself can be so simple, but the thing that makes it hard is all the possibilities you have to do, or all the possibilities you can do with it, because a lot of people say, oh, the blues is just 3 chords. I don't want to play just 3 chords, but
sure.
It's much, much more than that. It's not really about that, so to say. So
yeah. Well, you called on some of your talented friends to help you make this possible. And
yes. And first and foremost, I could not have done this without Pawnee House, in Blue Lotus Studios, and also Chuck Popcorn Loudon. He both of them guys helped me produce this album and really make it what it was. And I'm really grateful for their help and their guidance on this. And yeah, I think it really turned out to be a great thing. And we had some really great people, other people play on it too, not just Popcorn or Paul, but one of my best friends, Luke Saylor, on piano, Taylor Strife also on piano in Oregon, and a bunch of people like legendary Gus Thorton, who recently just passed away. He was he was the best person you could imagine.
Yeah, man.
If you didn't know Gus, I mean, just know that he always had a smile on his face, no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, I was, we can get into it because it's definitely something I wanted to talk to you about. I know, I know you guys were close and played together for many years, various lineups, whether, you playing on your own record or with Marquise and different, things. So, but yeah, that was a real bummer to hear in the news, and but it was nice to see that you guys all. I was unable to attend that day, but you guys did a celebration of life jam for him and stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we did. It was a really great turnout, and that was it was great to see almost everybody in the blues community show up for Gus, because he deserved everything and more. He was great. Yeah. I really I can't find the words, that's how great he was. He was just the best person you can imagine. He really was. So
yeah. Somebody pulled up maybe it was Jason Cooper or some I think somebody shared a link on Facebook after he passed, and it was him and Stevie Ray Vaughan on something, and and I was just like, I don't know, I've always heard those stories, but I don't think I ever actually watched the video. But to see him, see my our friend Gus up there, it was like, I don't know, and then to know that you're like 1 degree of separation away from Stevie Ray Vaughan kind of thing is pretty cool. That
was the that in session, Stevie Ray Vaughan and Albert King,
right?
Yeah, that was. I remember the first time I ever met Gus. I remember I was sitting in with Marquise Knox at Beale on Broadway, and I was up there playing, and Marquise, at the end we were getting ready to take a break, and he starts introducing the band, and he gets the Gus, and he says, this man has played with people like Stevie Ray Vaughan and the great Albert King. And my eyes lit up. I was 15 at the time.
Right.
I just lit up. I was like, "What? Really?" And then later, when we got off stage, we were talking, and I found out that he was the bass player on that In Session DVD, which is something I listened to daily. When I was younger, like that, coming up and learning. I mean, daily. I was really into it, and when I found that out, I was just I was kind of a little starstruck, and I asked him, I go, Gus, can you sign my poster or whatever I had? Can you sign something? And he goes, I'm coming over to get your autograph. Yeah. That's the kind of person he was, you know? Well, yeah, he was great, wonderful human being.
Yeah, man. So. Well, yeah, big shout out to Gus Thorton, and I'm glad that that you have him on these recordings. And this, that's one of the beautiful things about music is that these songs live on, man, and we can celebrate him year after year, and we can continue to tell people about what an impact he made on all of us. So
yes.
So yeah, I'm grateful that he was able to record on these songs with you, and we can share them with everybody.
And I want to plug just real quick. I don't want to leave out anybody that recorded on this. Like people I have mentioned, Popcorn, Paul, Luke Saylor, Taylor Strife, Gus Thornton, of course. My wonderful horn section who play with me on this, Dan Smith on trumpet, Ben Schaefer on tenor sax, and Ian Bushman on bass sax. They did wonderful. They were so easy to work with, and really, they helped me since this was my first time really writing horn arrangements. They did kind of, give me some feedback and offer advice that really helped, when we were recording it, and everything was great. Takora Morgan, Riley Morgan, my main band here in St. Louis. I've known them guys for so long. I couldn't do this without them either. Mm-hmm. And they've been with me for so long. So thankful to have them by my side. Johnny Diamond on harmonica, who played on one. Again, always by my side. We played a lot together. And then last but not least, we also had the rest of the Michael Burks band come in to St. Louis to record a few of the songs. And Wayne Sharp on organ and John Davies on bass, along with Popcorn on drums. So that was a real honor to have them guys in the studio with me, recording some songs, and especially the fact that they were with Michael Burks for so long and that they were willing to come all the way to St. Louis to record a few songs for me. I'm real thankful for that. And yeah, everybody that was involved with this, couldn't be more thankful.
Yeah, man. And like I said, big shout out to Paul Niehaus, Blue Lotus Studio. He's been crushing it lately. Continually putting out quality work. A bunch of great records coming out of there.
Yes.
So if you don't know, get in the, do some homework and find out. But you got a lot of great music coming out of that studio for sure. And
oh yeah.
So
definitely. And one last person actually that was recorded on the CD with me is a real good friend of mine. He's one of the special guests on the album. Sean McDonald, Mac McDonald, another young blues guitar player coming up out of Georgia. Phenomenal. The song on there is the very last song of the album. It's called Jammin' at Paul's, because all we did was I heard he was in town. I called him up. We met at the studio, and we jammed on something. And they took the first take of it.
Oh, nice.
And that's what it was. And that was the first time we had ever met face to face. We've been talking on years for like Facebook and, stuff like that. But that was the first time we had ever met in person and played together. And it was, just magic, I think, in the room. And it was great. So shout out to him, Sean McDonald.
All right. You have to check him out.
Yeah, he's great. Phenomenal.
Let's give them a little listen what they might expect from this record. We mentioned working with Gus. Let's start with a song you said Gus recorded on this one. This is called Still Got My Blues.
That's right, yep.
And this is one you were telling me there was a previously recorded version of this, but we decided to revamp it for the new record and give it a new spin. And this is what we came up with. So tell me about that process.
Yeah. So like you said, this song was originally on my first album about, almost 6 years ago now. And at the time, I was, I was studying jazz at Webster University and everything. I was still really trying to find myself, find my style, what direction I wanted to go in. So it was kind of a melting pot of all of that when I first recorded it, which isn't bad. It is what it is. But now, years later, I think, I have a much better understanding of who I am as a player and what direction I'm wanting to go in. And that's basically how this came about. I really wanted to take that and redo it the way I think it, should be done. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did. And we got, like you said, Gus Thornton on bass, Popcorn on drums, Taylor Strife on piano, and myself on guitar.
Nice.
And vocals.
Yeah, man. Well, here's Still Got My Blues from Blues Cut Like Glass. And you might be able to very soon take home a copy of this, right? We got a big album release party happening here in St. Louis at the National Blues Museum, and that'll be on January 18th.
That's right. January 18th at the National Blues Museum, 7 p.m. We're doing the album release party. We'll have CDs for sale. It'll also be available digitally on all streaming platforms.
That same day?
And yes, that same day. And maybe even a little bit earlier, maybe about a few hours earlier. We'll see.
Right.
But you can pick up a copy. We'll be selling them. I also have shirts for sale. And come get yourself one. Come to the release party. It's going to be a great time. And
you said you got quite a few of the players that from the record are going to be making it live with you.
Yep, all of them with the exception of a few.
Yeah.
And which I'm thankful that all of them can, or most all of them can, make it. So a lot of times it's hard to get a lot of people in the same place at the same time. But I'm really looking forward to it, and getting this out there. It's been we've been working on it since July of last year. That's when we started the recording process.
Okay.
And I've been really taking my time with it. I didn't want to put it out at the wrong time, and find the right people, to help put it out and all that. So I'm really, anxious and excited to finally get it out there, So
yeah, man. Well, we're starting the year off right with some brand new music, and and like I said, you can come out to support and grab tickets for that. You can visit the I think you said Eventbrite or National Blues Museum's website.
That's right.
Take a link, and so come on out and celebrate the release of Matt Rattlesnake Lesch brand new record. So it'll be a good night for sure.
Oh yeah,
and that'll be you said just an evening with you guys. You said probably run through the record and then maybe do some jamming at the end.
Yeah. Right now I say the plan because things change.
Sure.
You never know with the blues show.
Yeah.
But the plan is for the first set, we're going to try to run the album, play the songs on the album. That way as people can follow along if they want to. And the second set, I'm just going to have a big jam session with any guests that may be in the house or any musicians that want to play,
Right.
We'll try to just have some fun.
Yeah, man. That sounds like a good time for sure.
It's just the blues.
Yeah. You said something about earlier too about right after that. I guess you're hopping on the blues cruise, huh? Yeah,
right after that next week. Yep, I'm gonna be going on the legendary rhythm and blues cruise. With my friend Dylan Triplett. So I'm gonna be playing with him on there for that next week, actually.
Yeah. And you said that's your first blues cruise?
Yeah, this is gonna be my first time on there, and he's done it a few times. Yeah. And I'm really, really excited to be on there with him, and looking forward to just having a good time. And Dylan and the rest of his band is just so fun to be around and play with, and we always have such a good time, playing with one another.
Sure.
So I'm really, really excited for that.
Is there anybody else on the lineup that you're hoping to catch?
I mean, anywhere from Taj Mahal, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, so many, so many big names, and other friends that are going to be on there as well that I haven't seen in a while. So I'm looking forward to catching up, meeting new people, contacts and everything, you know.
I think that's the best part about those kind of those, festivals or crews like this. Like, it's just like, they get great lineups together, so many like-minded people. It's fun to, catch up with friends that you haven't seen in a while and all this stuff. But yeah, I think it's, especially for guys like yourself that are, playing a lot, it's hard to always get to go catch shows. So it's like something like that when you're not, when it's not your set, then you can run over on the other side of the boat and see Kenny Wayne or somebody, whatever. So
yeah, Oh, I know that too well. There's so many people, just in St. Louis that I want to see live. It's just every time they have a show or I see them playing, I'm playing somewhere.
Yep.
Like for example, one of my old guitar teachers at Webster, Dave Black. Every time I see he's playing, I'm playing.
Yeah.
And I love Dave so much, and many other people too. Just what it is. That's what we deal with.
Yeah. This is business for sure.
That's right.
Yep. Well, you can find Matt on your Facebook, Instagram, and Rattlesnakelesch.com for more info.
Yeah.
And but we got a lot happening next year, so it's going to be it's exciting to starting the year off with some new music, and we'll see where this record takes us for the see what we can get. Maybe is there touring or any of that kind of stuff? Is there something like
definitely
want to do some get out there and play some more?
Oh yeah, definitely. Not just with other people. Like I've been touring with both Dylan Triplett and Marquise Knox the past couple of years,
right?
And I love playing with them guys, but I'm also trying to get to that point myself where I can tour as my own band. And that's what's so difficult for me personally, is because I really want to, do my own thing, but I also love playing with these guys,
Mm-hmm.
and, it's just one of those things, trying to find a balance, I guess. And, it's a really difficult decision sometimes because, it's just you just love playing with those your friends. And
sometimes you gotta just like say, hey, I'm gonna take the summer to do my thing, or the fall or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like dedicate some time to pushing your own music out there, or whatever, however you want to do it. But I've seen a lot of these guys that they're in a similar boat. So they play with a band, or they play their solo stuff, and then it's like they do like or they play like a band version tour, and then they go out and do like a solo acoustic tour. It's like they're that kind of thing. Like they offer different sides of what they do on whatever it might be. But sometimes you just gotta set the time aside to make yourself a priority too.
And that's what I'm hoping to do with this. And
right.
I do really want to start touring as myself, and doing some blues festivals.
Mm-hmm.
And all that, I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
So that's the goal.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm excited for the rest of the people here, and let's play another one. This is we did a live take on one, and we kind of talked about Gus, but we also recently lost Big George Brock a while back, and this is your tribute to him, which I thought was really cool to hear on a record. And
yes,
excuse me, you wrote a song called "He's a Blues Man."
Yeah, and
this is a live acoustic arrangement of this track.
Yes, and Big George was my mentor. I was with him for 7 years. From when I was 16 is when I first met him. And I'm so thankful. I mean, that man took me everywhere, and first night I met him, he did tell me, you'll hear it in the song, it's a true story. I was sitting in with him at BB's, and I got up there and started playing. He ended up keeping me up for almost the whole night. He just didn't want me to get down. And at the end of the night, at like 2:30 in the morning or something, he's counting the money, and he's sitting there. He pulls me over. He goes, I'm going to take you down to Clarksdale with me this next year. And I'll be damned. Next year in April for Juke Joint Festival, he took me down there, and we were playing. And ever since then, he wanted me by his side. And it's really weird because when I first met him, I saw this as this, just huge blues figure, which he was, But after several years, I don't want to say it started to fade, but I just started to see him more as a friend,
right.
And, almost like a grandfather type of thing, So, yeah, it's just one of those things where we had a really special connection, and I'm super thankful for the time I spent with him. Everything he taught me. Everything I learned, both directly and indirectly. So yeah, this is about Big George, and I talk about his life and just who he was. So I hope everybody enjoys it.
Yeah, man. This, I thought that was nice to hear. Obviously, you can find the full electric arrangement on the record also, but it was fun to do like kind of stripped down version of it today for the show.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Grenada in 1932. They called him Big George, and he played and sang the blues. He's a blues man. He's a blues man through and through. Well, there's nothing you can do to keep this man from singing the blues. They called him a lover, and down there every town he knocked out Sonny Liston in only the second round. He wrestled with a bear and knocked it off his feet. They called him the king, 'cause the blues just can't be beat. He's a blues man. He's a blues man through and through. Well, there's nothing you can do to keep this man from singing the blues. Stage when I was 16 years old. We played the blues all night till we heard the rooster crow. He said, I don't know where you come from, but I sure know where you're going. I'm taking you down to Clarksdale to take these blues on home. He's a blues man. He's a blues man through and through. Well, there's nothing you can do to keep this man from singing the blues.
Are all those true stories in that?
Well, I mean, from a certain point of view, yes,
Yeah.
it's true in somebody's eyes.
Right.
That's for sure.
The
Most of them are.
fighting a bear and
Yeah. Oh, Big George. I thought you were talking about the other songs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And for the Big George song, yes, all of that is 100% true.
100% true.
He really actually fought a bear. And it was a baby bear,
Baby
like a
bear.
small bear.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a full size. But the bear also had mitts on,
okay.
so he couldn't scratch it. But it was some dude had the bear in the back of the truck, the way he explains it.
Right.
And he was challenging people. If you could pin the bear, you get like $100 or whatever,
Yeah.
$50, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And Big George said to his boss, he's like, "Boss, I want to try it. I want to try to wrestle the bear." And he said he was watching the people do it, and every time the bear would lunge at him, they would step back, and that's where the bear would get you. So what he said, all he did was he squared up to the bear, and the bear lunged, like stepped towards him, and all he did was trip the bear. That's all he did. And then the bear got mad, and they got out of there. They had to, like, put him in the truck because he was mad.
All right.
But he also said the guy didn't want to pay him because, that's how it was. Like, well, you tripped it. You didn't whistle,
That's the hustle.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
And also another crazy one people don't like to believe, but he really did knock out Sonny Liston.
Yeah.
It was in a sparring match between the two. And the way I remember it is Sonny Liston, apparently he was had just gotten out of jail or something, and they sparred at the same place, and apparently they got into a match there, and Big George knocked him out in the second round. That's where his Big George's album called Round 2, that's where that comes from. And he's always said that Sonny hit him like right above, there was either the right or left eye. He said even till the day he died, that every now and then he could still feel it, by how hard he hit him. But it's some crazy stories that man had.
Yeah, those are the guys that you sit there and listen because they got stories for days and stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's like,
yeah, I know, it's wild.
Yeah, but that's cool that you got to, that chunk of years. You got to spend time right there by his side and listening and learning, and now we get to continue to tell others about it now, and so
trying to pass it on. So.
And it's like I don't know his age, but you mentioned the young guy that you got to jam with and stuff at Paul's, and so it's cool to hear you're already kind of, even yourself as a young man getting to mentor the next generation. You already got some younger guys that are coming up and getting to pass that on too. So
for sure, there's a bunch of younger guys coming up, and Sean, the guy that was with me, he's a few years younger than me, but that man, he really, he's made himself who he is, and he's, I respect him so much as a person. I haven't really done anything for him. I just wanted to take this chance for us to jam together on this album, and thankful for it. Yeah. But there's a bunch of younger people coming up too that is just kind of, it's wild. There's this younger guy, and even in St. Louis, this 13-year-old. Forgive me, I'm blanking. Lamonte. His name's Lamonte, and he sat in with Marquisa a couple times with us. And 13 years old, and he is just amazing. Yeah. I mean, really, I don't say that lightly. He's got it. He's got that sound, that you look for in blues, that rawness, and just the blues. It's just what it is. And so you'll be hearing from him, I'm sure, in the next few years for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of those guys, they just,
he's got it.
Just got it. Yeah. They're born with it. Like it, you mentioning, Kenny Wayne Shepherd earlier. I mean, he was doing it at a very young age, like 12 or something, I think, or maybe whatever, like started sitting in with get BB King and stuff like that. Like, it just, it's kind of crazy to hear those stories like that. But it happens. And Johnny Lang's always another favorite to start very young also. And
that's right.
But, it's just like, you're crazy to hear those stories of these, I was like, I had no idea what I was doing, and as a teenager, and I hear these stories. These guys got it all figured out. They're what they're going to do for the rest of their lives, pretty much.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
That people that young, when they're doing that young, it's almost like it's like I don't know, because I didn't really have that experience because when you're playing with them guys, it's such a huge level, especially sitting there with BB King like that at a young age like that, and just getting, having yourself kind of, propelled to the top like that. It's like, I don't even know how I would, what I would do with myself if I was that young, like, being 15 or 16 and having that happen to me. I don't know if I would have been ready for that personally, I don't think most people would be, to be honest, but I'm really, I'm thankful for everything that has come to me for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, check it out. Again, the record due out on probably, January 18 is the album release, and hopefully we'll have it on all your streaming platforms around that same day. And
maybe a day earlier.
Add to your favorite playlists and whatever you want to do. And but we got let's play the title track of the record. This is titled Blues Cut Like Glass.
Searching for a long time for the one woman I can call mine. Baby, please come back to me. I need your love to set me free. Where there's been good times, there's been hard times. I took these blues all the way down the line. At the end of the day, when troubles come to pass, you know these blues, they cut like glass. They cut like glass. They cut like glass. So bad, I don't know what to say. You're the only one who can rid me of this pain. I waited so long to be where I am today, to take these blues and throw them away. Where there's been good times and there's been hard times, I took these blues all the way down the line. At the end of the day, when troubles come to pass, you know these blues, they cut like glass. They cut like glass. They cut like glass. You know the blues cut like glass. You know the blues cut like glass.
what would you like to tell us about this song and why you chose this as the title track?
Well, this is the song I'm probably most proud of for the album because, again, this is one that has a 3-piece horn section. I wrote and arranged the horn parts for it and everything. It's not your traditional blues. It's more has a modern spin on it, but also a little bit of a jazzy spin to it as well. And I just really like the dark quality of it. And also the phrase blues cut like glass. I think that, that can have a lot of meaning depending on how you look at it, cause it does. No matter how you look at it, the blues is very emotional genre of music. So, and I've always been drawn to minor blues, as far as the key or whatever. And this is definitely a minor blues. So I don't know. It's just everything seemed to really, really come together on this one. And I love the way it sounds, love the way it turns out. Is there things I wish I would have done differently? Yes. But if I would have kept picking it apart, I could still be doing that right now. It's just there's a point where you just gotta say, okay, this sounds good. I'm gonna stop touching it.
Right.
I have a really bad habit of wanting to, keep changing everything until it's like super perfect. But with the blues, especially, you just gotta, if it feels good, you just gotta do it. Even if there's a couple mistakes, it's fine. So
yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of that where nobody's looking for perfection.
No.
Especially a lot of this is like it just something about it just being raw and real. People recognize.
Yeah.
And especially in the blues, I feel, but you can get to the point where you can worry about trying to make it perfect and you take all that away.
You take all the feeling out of it.
Whatever, everything that you originally captured in the, it's like, so sometimes it's better off just to leave it in as the first, the first take's the one that had the magic or whatever it is, it's like,
yeah, that's right.
But, so yeah, I don't know, but you always want to make sure it sounds nice, but you don't want to overdo it. And
you don't want to oversaturate it.
Very easy to do these days with all the tools we have and stuff. And
yes. Yeah, it's so easy to do. Yep, that's true.
But yeah, man. Well, you like I said, we're starting the year off with this brand new record. Are you? Do you do any of that like New Year's resolutions or do you like set goals for yourself for the year or like things you want to, any of that kind of stuff? Like,
yeah, well, my goal for this year is I'm wanting to actually, put on some bigger event type shows in St. Louis.
right.
I'm also wanting to try to travel too, but as far as locally, I'm going to be working with the Blues Museum a little more and, some other places, hopefully, to try to really do some more event type places rather than just, hey, I'm playing at a bar for 4 hours. Come see me. I want to put together a show, like I just recently did one a few months ago with Renee Smith at the Kirkwood Performing Arts Center. And that was a great turnout. And of course, Miss Renee Smith is amazing, And so I want to do more of those types of shows, maybe where it's, Matt the Rattlesnake Lesch featuring whoever, or I've also been playing with the idea of doing some tributes, a couple. I don't want to get too heavy into the tribute thing, but, there is a couple that I've been, thinking about maybe doing. And just going that route.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my goal for the new year and beyond. So
yeah. I mean, I obviously want to push your originals But I do feel like there's a way to do tributes and move your originals up, because like there is something about these like tribute shows that do draw a crowd, and I think I haven't like figured it out, like, you know, the whole science behind it or anything, but I do think there's something in there in the kind of the casual fan, where like, say you're playing a Stevie Ray Vaughan cover or whatever it might be, or something like that, and they're like, man, well, if Matt's nailing this Stevie Ray Vaughan song that I know so well, then he must be good, and I should probably listen to some of the other, you know what I'm saying? It's that kind of, it's like they have this mark where it's like, okay, well, if he's, you know, he can hit this point, then like that there has to be a certain level of talent, or what, you know.
Yeah.
It's about like validation of some kind of, you know.
Yeah.
That's how seems like I interpret it. Like, it's just like,
no, that's 100% true.
you know, even though the talent was already there, but now once they've heard you play something they recognize that they've already known for years, and they're like, oh man, okay, now he is good, and like,
yeah,
I don't know, but
well, that similar thing happened a few years ago, actually, when I did the Stevie Ray Vaughan tribute at the pageant with Steve Porcaro and all that, and a similar thing, you know, where you know, I've made some fans through there, and they followed me doing my original stuff through that. And so, yeah, it's definitely true. And I always thought it was really funny how if you put on a tribute show, like a tribute to so-and-so, you're going to have a packed house, sell out. You know, especially if it's an artist that a lot of people love. And then you go to do your own show, and it's like, you know, crickets. I think tribute is a way, you know, people connect with it more, because they already know what they're going to hear. Yeah. And they're going to hear their favorite stuff.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. A lot of people, I don't know. There's somebody said something about it one time, and it made like a ton of sense, but people stopped listening to new music in high school. They so there's so many people that are like, you know, it's the KC classics like that. That's why they keep playing those songs, because that's the stuff that they went to school with, and they love these songs, and like, and you know, and it's like they want to keep listening to those their favorite stuff, and you know, there's so many, but not that I don't love that stuff still, but I'm always like looking for new stuff. I love discovering brand new music that hasn't been heard yet. And I'm like, and you know, I love getting the new record, not just always listening to the greatest hits or so. You know, there's fans out there doing all of it and stuff, but then there's those that just want to hear their favorite songs, and so. But I agree, as an original artist, I'm sure it can be, you know, frustrating and stressful at times, trying to figure it out, why are they, well, you know, they love when I do this, but not as much when I do it. So
yeah, and I've had that conversation with a lot of other artists that are doing tribute acts, but also trying to do their original stuff too.
Yeah.
People that do, you know, I don't really do tributes really a whole lot, but people that do tributes a lot, they say the same thing. You know, it's really, it is frustrating for sure, but it's just something you got to work around, you know, and I'm trying to find a way to work around it myself. Sure. You know?
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully we'll, like I said, maybe some of these other larger scale events and things, make special nights of these things, and have some fun with that.
Yeah. I got a lot of ideas in mind, and you know, endless, you know, guests, and not just blues, but you know, blues. Want to do some jazz stuff too, funk, R&B, just everything. I want to try to dip my toe in a little bit of everything, because a lot of people don't know, but I don't play just blues. I play jazz, everything.
Right.
I love it. You know, love it just as much. I might love blues a little bit more. You know, I got to say that's my main thing, but you know, I love it all. I really do.
Yeah. Do you ever think you'd write like a more, you know, put out put out like a funk record or a jazz record or something?
Yeah, that's actually something I've been thinking about doing for this next year, just like a jazz record, and nothing too crazy. It's just something I want to get. I wanted to get into the studio with a good jazz group, and maybe record some standards and stuff, just for like personal. Something for me. Maybe not to put it out really far and wide, but it's something I'm wanting to experiment with for sure. So yeah.
I don't know. It's obviously very different, but I was thinking about there's always these like compilation records, like
oh yeah,
man. It's like excuse me, I'm getting dried out. They like pop goes country, or pop goes whatever. There's all the they take these like songs and then they reinterpret them in different kind of arrangements and different or whatever, and like I was just kind of thinking about that, like how Rattlesnake goes goes jazz, Rattlesnake it's
Rattlesnake jazz.
Yeah, right.
So,
the different records and stuff we could come up with.
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's something I've definitely thought about and I do want to do it,
right?
For sure, and definitely jazz, and maybe some funk stuff, because I've been messing around with some of that too, like original riffs and stuff and all of it. So
yeah,
it's really hard to stay in one box, well, actually I don't think you don't want to stay in a box. Let me rephrase that.
Right.
You want to just learn as much as you can, because if you do put yourself in a box, then you're just gonna keep redoing the same thing over and over until you die.
Right.
Not gonna be doing anything new, really.
Sure. Well, I think that's you can still bring it all back, and hey, I learned this trick, and I can apply it to what my this new song, and like how even so it can influence all kinds of different stuff, like so. And
that's something like my friend, I'm sure you know who he is, Kingfish, Chris Stone, Kingfish Ingram.
Yep.
That's exactly what he's doing, especially with his live shows, and he keeps it blues, but he also adds a bunch of other elements into it. Makes it really interesting, and it sounds amazing, when you hear him live. Totally different from the record. It's just the energy is there.
Right.
I've always said, if you want to hear the blues, you got to hear it live. You can't, if you listen to the record, it's one thing, but really hearing it live, it's meant to be heard live, I think. I've always thought with blues, because there's an energy that you get from the main performer, whether it be the singer, guitar player, or whoever. If they're doing it right, it's going to go right into the crowd, and it's going to make everybody just lock their eyes on you,
Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of times, like I also like to go see bands or artists live for the first time. It's like I don't really like. I listen to records, obviously, but it's like, but sometimes you can kind of get a false sense of what's going on. Like that their live show is completely different than their records.
Yes.
And so I kind of like to see what they do live compared, first just to just experience that, because that's usually my favorite part of it. But a lot of them are, there are people that are, make very good records, but something like it's been talked about a lot, how capturing that magic, hey man, we got this thing on stage, but it's hard to find it in the studio sometimes. Like, and I think it's the crowd energy and everything too. Like it all.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I agree. I think seeing it live is where it's at. So.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
So come out to National Blues Museum on January 18th.
Yep.
And you get to hear this whole record live with a bunch of great special guests, and you can take home a copy with you that night. And tell a friend and have a good time with us at the National Blues Museum.
Yep, that's right.
And you can make a whole night. There's a sugar fire right down there next door. You can get some barbecue, and
right connected to the place.
Yeah,
So
what do you get? What's better than that? Blues and barbecue. And,
yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly. Can't go wrong. So.
But yeah. What's speaking of food? What do you have a favorite sandwich or dish that around St. Louis that you we got some. We're pretty blessed around here. We got some good stuff.
We got a lot of really good food. I don't know. That's a tough question.
All right.
I'm trying to think. You put me on the spot.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Some of my favorite like types of food is barbecue.
Yeah, sure.
So I like to, try different barbecue and, and all that stuff. So really anywhere there's barbecue, you're going to find me, there's a good chance.
Yeah. I imagine that's like, I always think about that. Like, getting out there touring a little bit, getting to, and you get to sample some of the different things, how they do things in different towns. And,
I'll tell you what, St. Louis, nobody does it like St. Louis.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Nobody. I mean, there's a lot of great places out there.
All right.
Don't get me wrong, but St. Louis is just different.
Right.
But
yeah, I was thinking about sandwiches because, they just opened up Joya's Deli out here towards me, so I'm very excited to have one of my favorite sandwich spots. They had the location on the hill down there for about 100 years, and so now they have one out west by me. So I'm excited that hopefully I don't go broke now spending all my money.
Right, but, I know how that is.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
wow,
yeah, it's So yeah, come on out and like I said, see this record live January 18th, but I appreciate you spending some time with me, Matt.
Oh yeah, well I appreciate you being open and having me on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was great catching up, and
yes, it was,
and talking about all of our friends and this record. So again, get plugged in on socials, Matt Rattlesnake Lesch on your Facebook and Instagram, Matt rattlesnakelesch.com.
Yep, Matt the Rattlesnake Lesch on Facebook, and on Instagram, it is STL Rattlesnake.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, but new music kicking off 2025 for you. So
yep,
I appreciate you, buddy, and I will see you at the Blues Museum.
All right, sounds good.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.